Good morning.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, I think it's still moving.
I don't know why I'm yelling so loud. It's not that far away.
I'll just confirm that it's. Just give it a second.
Should be loading.
There we go.
Hey, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing? A little bit of a new setup here.
Let me just tag everybody.
Britt's tagging everyone. She's under the desk right now. She's absolutely going crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There we go. She's getting that light on.
There.
Yeah, we have a spotlight over there. That's actually looks really good, Britt. Wow.
Thanks.
Do you want to, or actually, no, it looks perfect the way it is.
Is
That's
it in
awesome.
your eyes?
No, it's perfect. That's perfect. This looks really good. So yeah, a little bit of a different setup today, guys. We're actually going to eventually invest in better chairs than this. Every time we get furniture, couches, chairs, something, our English bulldogs absolutely ruin them. They like sleep on them, rub their folds. They have like those deep folds, and they get the gunk all over them.
Bulldogs just really stink.
They stink. They smell.
Yeah.
Our house smells good, but they make it difficult.
Morning, Micheline.
Morning, Micheline. How's it going?
Morning. So yeah, yeah. Just if you learned anything, bulldogs don't smell the
Yeah,
best.
that's
You have to
right.
watch
So
them.
we will have we're kind of trying to try out new setups here. I think eventually we might move the master classes to the living room.
We have a really small office.
We have a really small office. There's just we have a 3-bedroom house, 2 bedrooms up, 1 down, small house, and yeah, not much room. So nonetheless, this is what we got today. We got our dining room chairs,
Yeah.
which I think are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Brittany wants nicer chairs. I think we'll get there. But
I'm just making sure that everyone's like the live's working. Okay, so this morning we are just talking about like how to still crush your fitness goals when your partner, husband, whoever is in your life, maybe your roommate, whoever, whoever you have in your life who is important to you, who maybe like you live with, isn't on the same journey as you. And so I think I wanted to start off by kind of relating and talking a little bit about like us and like Dylan and I, if you don't know, we have been together for over 10 years. And so I just want to start off by saying like, it wasn't just like we started dating and we were like, oh, we're perfect on our fitness and we've had this perfect life of fitness and everything and we have the same goals and everything is perfect and like all this stuff, and it
No.
definitely wasn't like that. And 10 years later, we've just gotten to the point where I'd say in the last couple years that we're really on the same like path and have the same goals and things like that. And I want to say too, it's not bad to have different goals as your partner as well. Like there's
No.
certain things Dylan likes to do and there's certain things that I like to do, and that's very healthy. But we also want to say too is we get this lots from either clients or people like, it must be nice having your partner like, into fitness with you. I wish my partner was, and things like that. But it's not bad if your partner isn't into fitness and you are.
No,
like, there's
it's
lots
not.
of cases where they're like you can't expect your partner to like something as much as you do.
Yeah, I want to make things clear with the whole fitness thing is like, obviously we're fitness coaches, we're passionate about fitness. If you're
Yeah.
working with us, you want to change your life from a fitness perspective, right? But there's like a quadrillion, like fitness is a lifestyle, obviously, right? And like, obviously we encourage all the people around us, family, friends, whatever, regardless of their situation, hey, you should, improve your life through fitness if you can, right? Of course, we're going to advocate for that. But the key here, and this is very important to understand that I don't think a lot of coaches or people even say, is like fitness is just a hobby to a lot of people. It's like, it's not like there's more people on the planet that aren't active. There's more people on the planet that prefer to, binge watch movies, or I'm just thinking of random stuff,
Yeah,
go, do things that
Do
aren't
anything
active.
but fitness.
Anything but fitness, right? There's people that like
And
to
that's
play video
okay.
games all day. I like to play video games sometimes, even, right?
Yeah.
Like if we turn the camera that way, you would see my desk, and I have a little gaming setup and things like that I sometimes play on the weekends, but not much. I'm not like I'm younger anymore, but nonetheless, what I'm saying is like there's other things people like to do besides fitness, and so your partner might have other interests. You don't need to force them into doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what Brittany was trying to say.
So I think there's a difference of like, if we're kind of starting to talk, like starting with this topic, is there's a difference of like, let's say, your partner, you noticed they were getting unhealthy or they were getting overweight and you wanted to help them get healthier. That's different than like trying to get them to be obsessed with fitness as much as you are, for example, and things like that.
That's right.
So that's kind of two different avenues, but we're kind of just talking about like, let's say, your husband or partner is just generally just not into fitness and, he's fine, he's healthy, but you really like fitness and you want to, continue your healthy lifestyle. We're just talking about like how you can continue on and not have him have to do everything with you. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And also being on the same page in some regard, like even if they're not into fitness, and a lot of this is going to be about that type of dynamic because typically, like if we work with a lot of couples, obviously, and they both want to achieve something together, or if your partner is already into fitness, which happens with, I have a long term client I've been working with, and her husband is just like, he's like an athlete essentially. And she's the one that's trying to essentially like catch up to him. That's what she says to me, but she's doing really well. The point I'm trying to make is if your partner is already involved in fitness aggressively, or they're 100% on board with you changing their life and they're doing it with you, that's a different story. I really want to focus on when your partner isn't on the same page as you. That doesn't mean they don't agree with what you're doing, or that doesn't mean they don't support you. That's not what I'm saying, right? There are very rare instances. I will get into that because there are very rare instances. I remember I worked with a guy back in the day. Brittany knows what I'm bring up here.
This is a good story. We've seen it all. It's no judgment. We're just sharing this to educate.
This is I've never seen this ever happen before, and I never have since. But I worked with a guy once, and he was trying to pass his paramedic test, so that was why he hired me. And he needed to lose some weight. He needed to become more athletic. He needed to work on, improving his skills so he could pass the obstacle courses and the physical exams and things like that.
It's very hard, yeah.
It's very difficult, especially for someone who's not very active, and he wasn't very active. He just had a dream to be a paramedic. So, okay, great, let's make it happen, right? And the entire time, his wife was very, very unsupportive of his fitness goals, to the point where he would filter things, like she would say things to him, he would say things to me. For example, like if I said, hey, here's your nutrition plan, like let me know what edits I need to make this week or whatever, and he would say like, my wife is really upset at me this week, and I'd be like, why, what's going on? And he'd be like, well, she just doesn't like what you have for me because she can't make the dinner for me the way she wants to make it, and she thinks that we're kind of like ganging up on her. Like that's stuff he would say to me, and I'd be like, what? No one's ganging up on your wife, man. Like, what the, like, I'm just trying to help you become a paramedic. That's my goal. That's my job. And that's your goal, sorry. And, she was very unsupportive of his goals. And, like, it was constant. And, like, he did all right given the circumstances. He could have done way better had he just had a supportive partner. And that's why today we want to talk about the importance of having a supportive partner, but also if they're not on board with your goals in terms of they don't want to do it, that's fine. That's okay. You love them for other reasons, right? If you're with someone, and Brittany, like Brittany said, roommates, friends, roommates a little different. Obviously, if you're renting a room with someone, maybe you don't have a choice, that's fine. But that's more of a rare occurrence as well, having a roommate pull you away from your goals. I mean, you guys are probably separate anyways, unless you guys are friends. So if you're friends, right, if you're living with a friend or you're around friends all the time, and we'll get into that as well, I would argue that friends are the harder one to be around to take you away from your fitness goals and veer you off track than your partner, right? And so we'll talk about both. I want to start with the partner thing though, okay? So Brittany said that we've been together for 10 and a half years now, which is insane. So we're into our second decade now of being together. And when we first met for the first 2 years, I was obviously heavily involved in fitness. Brittany was into fitness as well. She was doing her riders cheerleading. She was cheerleading for the Rough Riders.
But to be clear, I wasn't at that time. I wasn't into the gym at all.
She was just doing things they were telling her to do, like going for runs and more during CrossFit and stuff like that. Yeah. All the cheerleaders had to do it at the time. Also, riders won the Grey Cup, so there you go. Congrats to that.
To be clear, just so you guys can understand of how far away from like our goals we were, is like I was doing rider cheer, and like that was like my obviously I had to be very athletic for that. But I'm not saying I wasn't, but I just wasn't into like lifting weights specifically. But Dylan, obviously, he's been into it since he was 14 years old, so he was really into it. And I used to sit in the car outside of Fit for Less while he went inside to work out. And I'd be texting him, and again, this is like so long ago, but I'd text him, and just thinking back on how far our relationship has come on that. I text him like, "Are you done? Like, let's go." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I actually remember that exact
yeah,
workout session. Like,
I know.
I
Right?
remember. I literally remember the exact session she's talking about. I was in there for like 10, 15 minutes max.
And I'm just like, let's go.
Like I did one exercise, and then I was just like, I was like, okay, yeah, like you're.
But at the time,
let's hang out. Sorry.
I was very young, and I didn't understand obviously that he had these goals and they were important to him. It was more so like I wanted to go do whatever I wanted to do with Dylan, and I didn't think that working out was too important back then. And so I was unknowingly taking him away from his goals, and so we had to go through that though, and through different things like that in our relationship for us to understand and be able to support each other now. So I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. It's not like you can just start out a relationship and it be perfect. You have to go through things, even maybe like cross boundaries and stuff, to create those boundaries and to create that does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it makes sense. Yeah.
To create what works for you. It takes time, and that's just with anything in a relationship, I think. So
yeah, so we've been together for 10 and a half years, and we've been on our own. Like, we moved out when we were 20, 8 years ago. So we've been living on our own, renting different apartments, and then buying our house here in Calgary 5 years ago. And so those, like, the last 8 years in general, we had to build up, like Brittany's saying, we had to build up that connection together in order to see eye to eye with our fitness goals. And that's changing every year, right? I have different goals every year. She has different goals every year. We like different, like we eat similar foods. Obviously we got to that point, but like we like different foods, and we have different calorie requirements and all that. And obviously we're like, keep in mind, like, we're obviously fitness coaches, right? So like, it's easy for us. Like it's become like it's like brushing your teeth for us, right? Like it's just a night and day thing for us to be able to connect and have similar interests and things like that. So keep that in mind. But I want to really focus on if your partner and you are different. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because if, like I said at the beginning of this masterclass, if you and your partner are already on the same page, or he's already an athlete and he's like, hey, you should join me, like, let's work out together, let's go for runs together, that's easy. That's a lot easier than a situation where your partner's over here and you're over here. So maybe you want to lose weight, maybe they are a bit heavier as well, and maybe I don't really care. Right, I don't care if I lose weight.
You can't force change onto somebody. They'll always most likely just run the other direction. It's you know what I mean. It's like the common teenagers acting out, and the parents like helicopter parenting, and the teenager's just gonna kind of run farther.
That's right. Yeah.
So
one thing I've heard a lot actually is I've worked with a lot of people where they achieved a goal with me. So like, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds by this date, or my wedding, or whatever. That's a big one. I want to get ready for my wedding. It happens all the time, constantly with me and Brittany. It's always like weddings, or vacations are a big one. I'm going to Mexico in February. I want to look my best, whatever. Okay. Those types of people, I've heard this so many times. It's crazy. They'll be like, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's a woman or a man. Their partner is separate. They don't care. They don't care for the wedding or the vacation. They're just going to be who they are. And at the end, when they finally reach their goal and they're all happy and they're getting ready for their wedding, they'll say this to me. They'll say, my husband or my wife or my partner says, oh, I can't wait for you to return to normal. I can't wait for you to get back to eating whatever the F you want all the time with me, baby. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, it's like I sit here and I'm like, oh, well, I taught you the habits to get there, right? But ultimately, there is some sort of connection you have to build with your partner if they're not on board with that same journey as you. Because if you want to continue to keep the weight off, if you want to continue building muscle, if you want to continue building the body, changing your lifestyle from a fitness perspective, your partner must understand and must adhere to that at the very least.
Yeah.
So that's like, I will say that it's really hard to have long-term success, lifetime success, if your partner isn't on board with what you're doing. If they're just sitting at home and then you're going for runs, if they're sitting at home, you're going to the gym, they're sitting at home, eating chips on a weekend and drinking beer or something, and you're meal prepping, that dynamic is very, very hard. And it can be, because I've just seen it over the years. I'm just telling all of you what I've seen time and time again, year after year after year after year. And sometimes those people that get ready for those weddings or vacations, they'll come back to me 6 months later, I gained it all back, can we try this again? And it's like, because of who you're around, who you surround yourself with. And so I'm not saying your partners, I told you love them for other reasons, right? But it's very important to, at least in my opinion, have a sit down with them and say, hey, I signed up with this coach, I signed up for this program, I'm going to this gym, whatever it is that you do, right? and I want to lose this weight, or I'm really, like this belly of mine's been bugging me. I want to get rid of it, or I'm so frail. The doctor said if I don't build muscle in the next 5 years, I'm going to be very brittle. Please understand that this is a huge lifestyle change for me, and please be on board with me.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to say. And if your partner's like, F that, well, I mean, that's a whole nother story, right? I don't need to go down that road. I'm just saying, like, it's very crucial that they at least understand what you're trying to achieve and support you.
And support you doing it.
Doing it. If they're not doing anything to change their situation, that's very, very important.
So for Dylan and I, so again, this was such a long time ago, but for us, it was, I saw him going to the gym lots, and it went from me in the car texting him to hurry up, to me being interested in what he was doing. And then he was like, well, just come to the gym with me. I'll show you kind of what to do. Okay, well, I'll come to the gym with you. Started lifting weights. Oh, this is okay. I started to, feel better, obviously. And then it started with, back then I used to drink a lot and stuff. And then it started with me replacing, the drinking and stuff with going to the gym with him really late. We'd go on Friday nights, Saturday nights. We'd like to do really late workouts for some reason. We'd be there for hours, and I really liked it. And then I started getting into like competing and stuff, and the competitive side of me really enjoyed that. And so that's how it started with me, but he got me into it. And so it became from me not being interested at all to me being obviously doing this with you now as a career over the last decade. And so I've seen it lots too, though, where one person will start like a program with us, like either the male or female or whatever, and then their partner will come on board and want to do it as well because they see them making changes. So that's also something that I've seen happen.
I've seen that happen too,
which is pretty cool. Even to things just like, even if you're really into the fitness side of things and workouts, but your partner starts like doing walks with you. I've seen that before with one of my clients, her husband starts doing walks with her, and he does his like kind of own training and things like that, but just doing something active together, it's a good positive, you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
Yeah. You're making that positive change, so they want to make that positive change as well. So that's kind of how it worked with us, and so we've seen that happen lots as well.
Yeah, and the reason I'm talking so much about your partner being supportive is because I want to reiterate what I said there a little differently. Is like, if your partner is stuck in their ways and reverting back to their old habits all the time, and you're the one that wants to change, that will create a difficult dynamic because you're changing, you're becoming a different person in one way or another, and they're staying the same, and so that will create some friction naturally. It's not like your husband or your wife or your partner is going to be sitting on the couch crushing Doritos while you're meal prepping and not feel some sort of insecurity around it.
And if that's happening to you right now, I want you to understand that it could be a phase. People go through different seasons of life, whether they're, you know what I mean? Everybody has stuff going on with them personally. Obviously, if you're together, most likely if there's things going on with your partner. So it may not be forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It may take time for them to, readjust and see you progressing in your fitness and stuff like that for that to come together, if that makes sense.
To come to fruition, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the other thing too is fear of change, like Dylan was talking about, is there could be some friction if they see you changing but they're not ready to change. Like that's a big thing too. We hear lots too.
Yeah, and so like
it goes back to when I was sitting there in the car texting Dylan, I was not ready to change. I was not ready to make that step, and then eventually I was, because I watched him do it, and I decided that.
I was just like begging her all the time. Like I was just like constantly like, hey, just come try. You would look great, please. Like I love you the way you are, but just like come to the gym, please.
Yeah.
And then
and I understand not everybody has a partner who he was very knowledgeable already about, obviously lifting weights in the gym, because he had been training since he was so young. And so that's not always the case, but 100% obviously if you guys can get on, at least the board with, similar goals, it makes it easier for sure to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you guys don't have to lose weight together, or you guys don't have to have like the same goal, but like, even if your partner just does like something like Brittany said there, like if we get really happy when like, a woman, a man, whatever, they are trying to change their life, and then their partner just naturally sort of starts to like, yeah, go for walks, like Brittany said, or hey, my husband meal prepped with me today. He took one of my meals to work, or something like
Even
that. Right?
little
Like
things
little
like that,
tiny
you
things.
should
Yeah.
be very encouraging towards
That's
them.
right, and that actually is that's very
Yeah.
important. You should be very pumped and encouraged and happy when they are somewhat following suit.
Yeah.
You see them on the treadmill, you're like, whoa, you going for a run right now? Like, what are you doing, right? Like, just little things, just becoming more active in general, right? So,
Yeah. Sorry. Good morning, Mindy, and good morning, Gabby. Just wanted to say
good morning, all of you. Hope
Yeah.
you all are having an awesome
Yeah.
Wednesday so far.
So
Yeah.
the other thing too is I always note too, like again, let's say fitness really isn't their thing, but it is your thing. Making sure you support them in whatever they're doing, because obviously they might have other interests. So making sure you support them in that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Brittany's crushing today, man. Absolutely so true. Yeah, so like I mentioned that I like to play video games on the weekend. When I was younger, it was like school, fitness, and then gaming, like, and sports. Like, just a typical guy, right? And so just recently, just on the weekends, after work was done on Saturday is kind of me and Brittany's like day to maybe go for a date or spend some quality time together. And if some Saturdays there's not much going on, I might play some video games at night for a few hours with like some high school friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And the reason I'm saying that is because Brittany supports me in that. So if it's like 7 p.m. on a Saturday, I'll just ask her. And this is really, 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 really critical for a successful relationship in general. You should ask each other if something's okay. You should. 100%.
I will
100% run it by your husband or your wife.
Yeah.
So,
At first, he said Dylan was like, he really enjoys on the Saturday night after he's worked his butt off all week. He can, he's allowed to have a game with his friends for a couple hours. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And so, but at first, I will say, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, well, what about our whatever? And I kind of got all whatever. And he was like, Britt, like, but after our date and after we've done this, like, this is important to me, and he's connecting with an old friend from high school, like, what's wrong with that? And then I thought about it and I was like, nothing's wrong with that. And he's like, you like to watch I love Real Housewives shows. That's my thing. Like, I like to watch on like a Saturday. So, anyways, so he's like, you get to do that, and so why can't I do this? And I was like, you know what? You're so right. And so I support him in that. And honestly, the other day too, I was like, show me your games, even though like, it's like I'm not interested.
Show me your games.
I'm not interested. But just even that little 5-minute thing.
Sweetheart? Yeah.
Just show him that I'm interested.
You're so good looking when you play games.
Yeah. So again, this is just coming from like our 10 plus years of relationship advice and what's worked for us. And so kind of just reiterating back though is like, if you have a partner who's really not into fitness, like you don't need them to track their macros. You don't need them to even do workouts with you. You don't need them to do your cardio with you, whatever. But you do need support from them, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I would say too, like, if in an alternate universe, if Dylan wasn't into fitness and let's say I was doing this on my own, it would be tough if he didn't at least support me. Even if he didn't work out with me, it would be tough if he didn't support me. And so going back to really sitting down and having a conversation and maybe even writing in like a note on what you want to say, some points so that you don't forget. And just say, hey, this is my goal and this is why it's important to me. And just really going into detail on why it's important to you. Creating date days, for example, on Saturday, that's our date, especially in the afternoon. Normally we'll do client stuff in the morning, and then the afternoon we'll put our phones away, and like that will be our like.
And that's the only time we.
Yeah.
Every other day we're focused on the working side of things.
So creating that time for you and your partner to have to yourself too, outside of like your goals and his goals and things like that. If that makes sense, because at the end of the day, there's always gonna be like there may be partners out there who just don't want to do the fitness side of things with you, and that's okay.
That's okay. There's like I said at the beginning. But
that support is important.
That's right. Like I said at the beginning of this, like fitness is just like yes, obviously, should the entire planet be working out and eating properly within their means? Yeah, obviously, like from a health perspective, that's wise, but most of the world doesn't, which says to me, like statistically, most of the world isn't interested in fitness, and that's okay. There's people, by the way, there's billions, probably with a B, of people out there who don't work out, don't like fitness, but they also don't eat a lot of food, so they're just kind of just like lean and
Yeah.
maybe they go for walks and things like that here and there, but they don't really care. It's like what I'm trying to say here is like fitness. You don't have to force your partner into a fitness journey.
You
Like,
need support, not participation. That's what it is.
I like that. I like that.
I'll share a quick note on my mom wouldn't mind if I share this, but so my mom and her husband, my stepdad, my stepdad is very into the gym and has been into the gym for a long time since he was a young.
Yeah, he always never misses a session. And even if we go visit Saskatoon, he's always going.
Me and him used to push my mom and say, "You gotta go to the gym. You gotta go to the gym." We'd be like, "Come on, come on, come on," and that just pushed her farther away from it. And now she'll text me, "Hey, I went to the gym," or I did a workout at home, one of your workouts, or I did whatever it is. But she'll only do it if we don't tell her to do it. And so I have noticed that, and that's like obviously like human psychology, like I was talking about before, is like some people, or a lot of people I would say, especially like I'm that way too. If you push me to do something, I'm not going to do it. I will do it on my own will if I want to do it.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so, it's like a good example of this is like growing up. I was really good friends with this kid, and he was a really good hockey player, and his parents like were obsessed with him getting into like the NHL. Like that's all they cared about. They were super, super, super on him about being the best hockey player possible and only caring about hockey. And what do you think that did? Exactly what Brittany said. He just ended up hating hockey because like there was no fun in the game for him, right? He was expected to perform and expected to improve, and like he was just a pretty normal kid, honestly. And like, now he does other stuff. He's just a normal like member of society now. But the point I'm trying to make is like his parents were we used to go over to his house, and his parents were like, what are you doing? You should be doing this. Why aren't you training? Sometimes we'd go over there and his parents would just tell us to play hockey with him. Like, and he would just obviously wreck us.
Wow.
And I was so bad. I was such a bad hockey player. So like, he would just wreck us. But like the whole time he's just screwing around, you could tell he didn't enjoy it. Like his parents.
I'm sure lots of you can relate if you've ever been pushed, whether it be from your parents or whoever, to do something that you don't want to do. Like it's just not your passion.
Yeah, like me and Brittany often talk about this. I'll really get through this really quick here. Is like the best athletes in the world. It's a combination of them really wanting to do it and being pushed. But most people don't have this deep rooted passion for something. And so when they're pushed, they're just like, I don't want that, right? I don't want to do that. Stop telling me to do something I don't want to do, right? And so, like with your partner in this case, right, to bring it back to that, is like if your partner doesn't want to do fitness, they say, hey, I'm supportive of you losing that 20 pounds. That's amazing. Like, I love you the way you are, but that's great. I'm good. I like the way I am. I like my, beers on the weekend with my buddies or whatever. I like to just hang out and do my thing and game or watch shows or watch sports, whatever. Be supportive of that. I know that sounds crazy. Trust me, I know it does. But be supportive of that. Okay, I love you for other reasons. I've been with you for this long. We're married. We have kids. We have a family. Like there's so many other aspects of someone's life that you can focus on and love and support them, and that's not fitness related, right? Obviously, you know what I mean. Like it can go both ways, right? Like they also have to support you in your journey and not feel insecure about it. So you guys have to have a conversation. Like it's so important to go like this. You guys got to mesh together. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Going back to that conversation, I just have some notes here. So you can ask for things like, for example, like nutrition is a big one, obviously. If your partner or you have kids and things like that and they have, let's say, junk food in the house, you can't ask them to not have that food. We understand that. For us, it's easy. It's like we just don't have that food, but not everybody, like we don't have kids yet and things like that, right? So, but you can ask them and say, you know what, these chips, please don't put them on the counter. Can we put them in a special area in the kitchen, or just things like that where it's not out? Or if they come home with, 12 packs of donuts and things like that, having that conversation I think is very healthy. And I think if they really obviously respect and care for you, they'll either have the donuts on their own with the kids type of thing and not have it in front of you. Like really having that conversation, whether you have to have it once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, and just being like, I don't want donuts. They don't make me feel good. I'll get donuts on my own time when I want donuts, when I want to have a free meal or whatever. please don't bring 12 packs of donuts home, because I will say if Dylan brought a 12 pack of donuts home, it would be hard not to eat them for sure. So
Oh,
I mean, like
100%.
that would be tough, right?
And like obviously we have the odd cheat meal
Yeah.
that we plan in advance.
It's okay. So it's okay to ask those things. 100%.
Yeah, I would say too, like if I'm just thinking off the top of my head here, like me and Brittany, we try to go for 1 to 2 trips a year. Like it doesn't matter if it's in Canada or another country or something. We try to have like normal, have 1 or 2 vacations a year, and on those vacations, like we'll typically have one day where we kind of just explore the city, the town, or whatever, and we'll just eat. We'll eat food like multiple times a day. We'll eat out, and then after that, we're always like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna freaking die here." But nonetheless, it's like we have those moments as well. But the more you can stay away, or the more you tell your partner, "Hey, don't bring these types of items."
Not that they can't have it. Again, I want to reiterate that they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, if you want a honey cruller, sweetheart, go get one from Tim Hortons. But like, I don't want one, right?
Yeah, it's
That's it.
creating
I don't
that
want
boundary with that too.
That's it.
So what to do if your partner does bring it home? Obviously, I would continue having that conversation with them, and I would just know too, it's okay for you to say no. Oh,
That's right.
that's awesome. You should make sure to put them in the freezer because they're gonna go bad. I'm not gonna have some, but thank you so much.
That's
like,
right.
Like it's okay to say, create that boundary and just say no as well. I know it's tough with like that instance and stuff, but
That's right.
it's okay for you to say no if that is your goal and that is your boundary.
Right.
I have here like your partner is not your obstacle. You can't, like, again, yeah, you just can't expect them to be, on the exact same kind of journey as you fitness wise for sure. Allowing your partner to have their own journey, whether that be with like whatever it is that they're interested in, or their own fitness journey, things like that. They may not like the same training style as you too. I've had that lots where, the partner really likes to run, where we're focusing on like strength training and
Right,
such
right,
too,
right,
which is
yeah.
okay. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. It's. I mean, that comes down to more so like you and your partner are already on some sort of fitness journey together. You just guys are doing different things. That's pretty easy. We've seen that happen a lot. Like I mentioned, the woman as I've been working with for a while earlier in this call, her husband's already an athlete. Like he's like very lean. I think he does marathons, and she wants to build muscle, like build her glutes, build like a physique she's proud of, and they have different goals, but like. At the end of the day, they come home and it doesn't affect, like nutrition is universal, right? Like nutrition is universal. Like we're gonna all eat clean, we're gonna have clean items around the house, we're gonna focus 80% of our food around whole foods, all that stuff. That's universal. Like it doesn't matter if you guys are on different journeys, either way you both have to eat within your requirements. So that's like with the woman I brought up there and her husband, being a marathon guy, like they have different goals, but it doesn't affect their nutrition. Their training is just different, and so that's very easy. Those situations are very easy. I've never really seen an issue where someone's like, I've actually never had it happen where someone's like, my husband doesn't support me because I'm not a runner like him, or my husband doesn't support me because I'm not a powerlifter like him. They just that doesn't make sense. Typically, if someone's involved in fitness and their partner isn't, and then the partner is on a new fitness journey, they're very, very supportive, and anything they do, they're going to be supportive of. It's just only when you guys are one person's over here and one person's over here that you guys got to come like this. That's really it.
I want to leave it on this note. So if you have any questions, ask in the chat here. If we're off the live by that time, we can answer it and in the comments. But I wanted to leave it with like, if you guys are super far apart and it's the conversations aren't working, the sit downs aren't working, I don't think it is a bad thing to go to couples counseling and chat through that with a mediator in the middle of that. Sometimes that's what it takes, and I think that's very healthy to talk about that and such in like in a setting of like a therapy setting too.
That's right.
As well.
Yeah.
It's not a.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah.
like if it's something that's really causing issues, then I say get to the bottom of it with a professional or run it by us. I mean, if it's fitness related, like
Yeah.
we'll always help,
We'll
right?
always
But if
help,
it's
yeah.
like if it's relationship related, right? Obviously, like Brittany said, get counseling and see
sometimes
what happens,
it's
right?
just it's deeper rooted, or there's things they're not happy with themselves and things like that. So we've seen it all and stuff. So it really depends on your situation, but really sitting down and having that conversation, having multiple conversations, and just being verbal of what your goals are, why they're important to you. That's a big one. Just why it's so important to you, and yeah, why you want to do it basically.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that for sure.
I'll just check if there's any questions before we go.
No worries.
Nope, I think we're good.
Awesome. Hey, thanks everyone for attending as always. If you're watching the replay, just comment replay down below after so we know. If you have any additional questions, feel free to message us privately as always, or just comment down below the question later afterwards, and we'll get back to it. Thanks for coming, all of you. We'll have another one on Friday. Okay, we're trying to do these now Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We've just been so busy, and so today we got it done. We have it planned. Friday we have it planned, and then next Monday, hopefully we'll be doing 3 a week and keep you guys all informed.
And so topics are always appreciated because we want to know what you guys want to hear us chat about, and we'll make sure we do them. So
Absolutely.
have a
All
great
right. Have a good
Wednesday,
one, guys. Thank you. See ya. Good job, babe.